Welcome to the Shorten Anime channel. Today we'll dive into the latest episode of The Great Ruler. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to support the channel. The Great Ruler Season 2 Episode 6. On the top of the mountain, everybody could feel the spiritual energy pressure emitting from the depths of the frozen world. Their expressions shook a little bit, and a hint of eagerness surged within their eyes. They had indeed correctly identified their target. Mu Chen gradually retracted his gaze from the frozen world and whispered, "Let's go. We'll sneak in. However, you shouldn't touch any of the worldly treasures. We'll find a place and wait until the area starts to get lively." "Yes." Everybody immediately nodded once they heard this. Upon seeing this, Mu Chen rushed out and charged into the frozen world, facing the blizzard. Behind him, dozens of figures followed quietly. As they entered the depths of this world of ice, Mu Chen and the others were gradually able to feel the chill of this world. Although the spiritual aura was quite abundant and numerous worldly treasures, there weren't any traces of spiritual beasts. Heaven-ranked spiritual beasts all possessed an extremely strong respect of territorial rights. Thus, ordinary spiritual beasts would not dare to enter the territory that a heaven-ranked spiritual beast was occupying. After Mu Chen and the others had quietly entered the world of ice, they were able to clearly feel the formidable spiritual energy pressure as they approached the depths of this world. A tremendous roar rang out from the blizzard and would shake the world from time to time. But against such a spectacle, Mu Chen was able to remain calm. After all, he had once experienced the terror of the Nine Netherbird. The scene of black flames surging through the sky in order to fight against the heavens was deeply engraved in his mind. Compared to the Nine Netherbird, the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon was insignificant. This was because even if the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon was in its mature stage, it was ultimately still only at the Heavenly Fusion stage late phase. Even if it had experienced numerous good fortunes and opportunities, it was impossible for it to enter the Myriad Beast Records Heaven ranking and step into the realms of a divine beast. On the other hand, the Nine Netherbird had the ability to do so. As long as it broke through the shackles of world, it would be able to shed its spiritual form and become a divine beast. It would then become a powerful existence within the entire Great Thousand World. "Okay, we can't move forward anymore." Mu Chen suddenly stopped and rushed into a hidden crack in the mountain. This crack was situated just in between two mountain peaks. Thus, they had a wide view of the outside world. If they looked outside, they would be able to see the depths of the world of ice. Once they arrived at this location, the pressure of the spiritual energy had also become increasingly powerful. If they were to head forward any further, it was likely that they would be discovered by the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon. With just the men they had here, they wouldn't be its opponent, thus they did not want to risk it. Chu-Chi, Ye Qingling, and the others all nodded their heads. All of them were aware of the formidable spiritual energy pressure as well. Next up, we will wait until this location gets lively. Mu Chen lifted his head and stared at the depths of the world of ice as he muttered. At an unknown time, a rumor suddenly began to spread out within a region inside the northern heaven world's interior. It was said that there was a world of ice hidden behind numerous mountains to the west. At that location, there were a few people that discovered a heavily wounded mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon. Furthermore, there were numerous worldly treasures within the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon's domain. Like a drop of water landing on a calm pool and causing ripples, this rumor quickly spread out. It's said that there's a heavily injured mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon within the Valley of Ice. The mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon seems to be guarding a worldly treasure known as the Ice Deity Tree. If a spirit stage powerhouse was to obtain the Ice Deity fruit from the tree, they would immediately advance. Right now, there are many forces and powerhouses heading towards the Valley of Ice. Shall we also head there for fun? All sorts of rumors spread out at an alarming rate. The entire region became restless, and numerous individuals headed quickly toward the direction of the Valley of Ice. Once this information was passed to a few extremely powerful forces and powerhouses, they stared into distance with a strange gaze. A mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon, a heaven-ranked spiritual beast of this level, was enough to let their greed cloud their hearts. "Gather everybody, we're heading towards the Valley of Ice." Orders were issued quickly, and many powerhouses also secretly took their leave as they headed out towards the Valley of Ice. That region had undoubtedly become extremely popular in an instant. Valley of Ice. Within the crack of the mountain, Mu Chen was sitting cross-legged calmly. Behind him, Ye Qingling, Chu-Chi, and the others were also doing the same. Dense spiritual energy was being emitted from them in order to resist against the cold winds that blew in. It seems that the information about this location has already been spread. Mu Chen suddenly spoke. He was able to detect numerous spiritual energy fluctuations which had entered this barren tundra in just one short day. Chuchi and the others also nodded their heads, as they had also detected them. However, there still aren't enough men. Mu Chen smiled as he muttered this to himself. Time quietly flew by, and another day had come to pass. On the second day, the originally quiet world of ice had turned into a noisy location at an extremely rapid speed. Numerous figures had arrived in this barren wasteland, and the noise emitted from them seemed to have stopped the endless blizzard. A steady stream of men entered the depths of the world of ice. From their hidden spot, Mu Chen and the others were able to see countless, powerful figures moving around in the blizzard. Their auras weren't weak at all. For the men that entered the depths of the world of ice, they noticed that the mysterious spirit-held dragon was quite familiar to them. However, they were not idiots. They clearly knew the difference between the mysterious spirit-held dragon and themselves. They could only rely on numbers in order to defeat this powerful existence. If any of them were to rashly rush in, they would definitely be killed instantly by the mysterious spirit-held dragon. Thus, many of the men would stay within the boundaries of the world of ice as they waited for more people to gather. This wait only took one afternoon. When it occurred, Mu Chen and the others were slightly shocked as they stared at the approaching figures that covered the entire sky. From a rough glance, the amount of people gathered had exceeded 10,000. Moreover, there were at least hundreds of spirit stage powerhouses among them. These numbers had clearly surpassed the number of spirit stage powerhouses within the Northern Spiritual Realm. As expected of the Northern Heavens Spiritual Academy, Mu Chen could not help but sigh. This was only a portion of the men within the Northern Heavens world. Yet the formation was already quite terrifying. Just how terrifying would it be once every single one had been included in the formation? The attractiveness of the 5 great academies was truly shocking. Next up, let's wait for the show to begin. Mu Chen spat out a mouthful of cold white air. A smile filled with expectations had emerged on his handsome face. The commotion was quite enormous now. Thus, the mysterious spirit-hailed dragon would soon be alerted. When that happened, it would definitely be furious. Once we enter the fight, it would definitely be a spectacular sight, Fang Zhong exclaimed. It was hard to imagine that this scene was all secretly caused by them. When do we begin? Chuchi asked. There's no need to be impatient. Mu Chen shook his head and replied. We aren't the only ones that are planning to take advantage of the others. Moreover, there are many powerhouses that appeared at this location. Many of them will have the same idea as us. Chuchi and the others nodded. Although a third party would definitely benefit from the tussle between 2 others, there were too many third parties at this location. Thus, these third parties would definitely fight against themselves as well. Human figures emerged everywhere within the world of ice. The noisy voices rang out and dissipated the majority of the raging blizzard. As the people gathering at this location increased, nobody dared to take the initiative to enter the depths of the barren iceland. They were all waiting for the mysterious spirit-hailed dragon to emerge from the depths. And they did not have to wait long. A thunderous roar rang out, and a feeling of blind fury and fierceness could be sensed within the roar. It was evident that the mysterious spirit-hailed dragon had detected the human insects that had stepped inside its territory after it had been awakened from its slumber. Roar! This roar formed a sonic impact as it spread out. It caused the blizzard to descend down like numerous razor-sharp blades. A few unlucky individuals were going to be directly cut by these sharp blades and had to immediately protect their bodies with spiritual energy. Be careful, everybody! The beast is coming out! A roar filled with spiritual energy rumbled. Bang! The iceland seemed to tremble at this moment. The snow suddenly blew into the depths of the world of ice, and everybody could see a massive blizzard sweeping over from the depths. The display of strength was extremely shocking. The blizzard was exceedingly swift, and in a few seconds it appeared in front of countless individuals. Afterwards, the blizzard was ripped apart as a pair of enormous wings covered with ice suddenly unfolded itself from within. Roar! An abnormally powerful spiritual energy rushed out together with the roar, and a formidable spiritual energy pressure spread throughout the region. Boom! The blizzard directly exploded, and snow descended down from the sky. A massive monster emerged within the snow, and at this moment, numerous individuals' eyes narrowed. It was an exceptionally beautiful creature. Its body was that of a dragon, while a dazzling, glistening ice armor covered it. Cold breaths blew out from its hideous, gigantic mouth and froze the surrounding air. A pair of giant blue eyes stared coldly at the numerous insects in front of it. At the same time, it slowly flapped its wings, causing wind and snow to emerge. The originally noisy environment had instantly become silent. Even when many individuals were prepared psychologically, shock still filled their hearts when they personally witnessed the might of the heaven-ranked spiritual beast in front of them. Is this the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon? Mu Chen also stared at the massive creature that occupied the space. His face turned serious, but a hint of delight flashed through his eyes. This is because he noticed that the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon was still only at the Heavenly Fusion stage initial phase. If it was only at this level, it was something that they could deal with. The show finally begins. As Mu Chen murmured to himself, the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon let out a furious roar. It opened its gigantic mouth, and an icy torrent rushed out directly towards the crowd of people. The heaven-ranked spiritual beast had finally made its move. Boom! The white icy torrent descended down toward the crowd like a snow-white waterfall. At the same time, an extremely formidable spiritual energy fluctuation emitted out. Shrill screams resounded, but strangely no blood had been shed. The ones that were hit by the rushing torrent instantly erupted into numerous light beams that brought them away. Mu Chen was slightly startled as he watched this scene occur before his very eyes. He was able to clearly see that the symbols of the ones that were hit were destroyed and formed into the light beams, which soon disappeared. So the symbols will protect people who would otherwise be killed. Once it shatters, it executes a mysterious spiritual energy and directly transmit them away. But in this case, they are considered eliminated from the Northern Heaven Spiritual Academy, Yichingling muttered beside Mu Chen. Mu Chen nodded. So the symbol actually had this sort of protective measure. Although they were able to use spiritual energy within the Northern Heavens World's trial, the ruthlessness could not compare with those of the spiritual road. In the spiritual road, nobody would care about whether you lived or not. Aside from yourself, there was nobody you could rely on. Oh ho ho! The participants of the spiritual road are selected through numerous screenings. If they did not use this sort of method in the Northern Heavens world, at least half of the participants would be dead. Even the Northern Heavens Spiritual Academy wouldn't be able to pay that kind of price. Fang Zhong smiled. Although the 5 great academies were all immensely powerful and were well known throughout the entire Great Thousand World, they would recruit a lot of students. Thus, if half of them were dead, the parents of these students would probably be furious. Even though they won't die, the price that they've paid for being eliminated is severe. Just now, there were 2 unlucky spirit stage powerhouses among the ones that were hit, Chuchi also muttered. With this sort of strength, they would have had a certain amount of ability. Based on ordinary situations, it wouldn't have been difficult for them to raise their symbol's rank to rank 5. Unfortunately for them, they were instantly eliminated by the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon. Let's continue to watch. Right now, the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon is in its peak state and would be a monstrous torrent against the people that came. Mu Chen smiled. He raised his head and stared at the massive creature in the distant sky. It was evident that the figures who were on top of the trees were shocked by the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon's attack. Only after this attack, they had understood that although they had numbers, a heaven-ranked spiritual beast was something at the heavenly fusion stage. This strength was enough to instantly kill any one of them. However, there were some capable individuals within the group, and they hurriedly shouted out in response to the appearance of the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon. All the spirit stage powerhouses should attack together. The spiritual rotation stage should retreat and perform concentrated bombardments with spiritual energy. And what's more, the people who obtained an entry for the Northern Heavens Spiritual Academy were all individuals with a little bit of ability. Once they heard these shouts, they acted decisively, and numerous figures rushed out into the sky as dense spiritual energy erupted out. 100 or so figures appeared in front of the group and emitted out a powerful, rumbling spiritual energy. Roar! In the sky, the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon stared at these humans, and a hint of viciousness flashed through its icy blue eyes. It immediately roared again, and an icy torrent erupted out from its mouth once again. Attack! The 100 spirit stage powerhouses all shouted out. A variety of attacks then exploded out at the same time. The sky became a dazzling spectacle of light as the rumbling spiritual energy attacks collided against the overwhelming ice torrent. Bang! The formidable attacks collided heavily with each other in the sky, and a massive shock wave erupted out. A gorge was carved into the ground that had once been covered with snow and ice. As the blizzard swept across the area, the attacks from both sides gradually faded away. The attack from the mysterious spirit-hailed dragon was actually blocked by these 100 spirit stage powerhouses. It's truly amazing when there are so many people. Mu Chen could not help but praise once he witnessed this. With 100 spirit stage powerhouses joining forces together, they were able to cause trouble for an existence such as the mysterious spirit-hailed dragon. Attack! In the sky, another cry rang out. In the rear, the thousands of spiritual rotation stage also let out a cry together. Boom! Thousands of spiritual energy attacks instantly swept out from them. Underneath this attack, even the blizzard that covered the sky was blown away. Numerous lights pierced through the sky and landed on the massive body of the mysterious spirit-hailed dragon. Dong! A deep sound rang out constantly. Against such an attack, the mysterious spirit-hailed dragon was actually forcibly blown back a few hundred meters. On the surface of its body, traces of scars appeared on its glistening ice armor. Roar! A bit of pain surged through its body and thus angered the mysterious spirit-hailed dragon. It let out a furious roar and started to flap its massive and snowy wings. A violent spiritual energy erupted out, and ice started to condense at an alarming speed. In a few seconds, countless ice spears had formed. Every single one of these ice spears emitted out a spiritual energy fluctuation that caused everyone to jump. It was evident that the mysterious spirit-hailed dragon was truly furious. Swish! The mysterious spirit-hailed dragon flapped its giant wings, and countless ice spears rushed out instantly. They ripped through the air and descended down towards the figures that had attacked it. Boom! Against this terrifying offensive, the spirit stage powerhouses' faces instantly changed. They hurriedly pushed the spiritual energy to the limits and countered with numerous devastating spiritual energy attacks. Bang, bang, bang! As countless ice spears rushed through the sky, spiritual energy would charge over to counter it. This scene was exceeding spectacular and magnificent. Unfortunately, in such a terrifying collision, there were still a few unlucky individuals that had been hit by the ice spears. The symbol on their foreheads instantly shattered and turned into a light that transmitted them away. The entire world was completely covered with terrifying collisions as shock waves emitted out. Mu Chen and the others stood at the crack of the mountain as they watched the horrifying collisions that covered the entire sky. A hint of shock filled their eyes. This scene was truly like a small-sized war. A war between humans and a heaven-ranked spiritual beast. Mu Chen stepped forward and his hand touched the mountain cliff that was covered with snow. However, his gaze remained fixed at the horrifying collisions that occurred in the distance. Eh? Suddenly, Mu Chen frowned. He tilted his head and stared at his own hand that touched the mountain cliff. He discovered that the snow at this location was showing signs of melting. In addition, a hint of heat penetrated through the snow. Could the large battle have triggered some sort of change? Mu Chen stared at the slowly melting snow and frowned. However, he did not think much about it as he focused his gaze back onto the battle. The collision between the two sides continued. Every single attack of the mysterious spirit-hailed dragon was blocked by the crowd using the advantage of numbers. Although there was quite a bit of loss, they had still managed to suppress the mysterious spirit-hailed dragon. This was a battle of endurance. Although the mysterious spirit-hailed dragon's strength far surpassed everybody on the scene, but if it was based purely on spiritual energy density, it alone wasn't enough to compete with everybody once they joined forces. As long as the stalemate persisted, the mysterious spirit-hailed dragon would be at a disadvantage. Furthermore, it was able to detect that there were still some cunning and powerful humans that were hiding at certain locations. It was evident that they were waiting for the moment when it would go into a tired state. In addition, it could not consume too much energy, otherwise, roar! The mysterious spirit-hailed dragon issued out a roar and flapped its wings as the glistening ice armor on its body emitted out a burst of intense light. It was actually charging head-on against the spiritual energy attacks. Boom! It collided with the avalanche of attacks as it charged into the crowd of humans. Then it flapped its wings as its massive tail swept across the sky and crushed the mountains. Countless individuals burst into light beams as they were hit. Their symbols shattered and transmitted them away. The crowd hurriedly scattered, and signs of people rushing away emerged throughout the mountain. All out attack, everyone. Let's slay this beast. Kill! Let's attack together! Various cries resounded throughout the sky. As their friends had their symbols shattered, numerous people's eyes turned red. They pushed their spiritual energy to the limits and started a bombardment on the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon's massive body. Both sides were completely furious. Mu Chen could not help but grin. It was lucky that the people here had the protection of the symbol. Otherwise, this place would have turned into a bloody river already. The mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon has used up a lot of spiritual energy. Ye Qingling stared at the massive creature in the sky. After such a battle, the latter's ice armor had shattered in many locations. It also started to become dim, and it was evident that it had consumed enormous spiritual energy. Everybody should pay attention. We'll wait until mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon consumes a bit more energy, or when the other hidden individuals start taking action. Mu Chen glanced at them quickly. The hidden individuals were definitely powerful. If they were to store their power and join forces against the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon, it would definitely cause a severe injury to the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon. Yes! Ye Qingling, Fang Zhong, Chu Qi, and the others all nodded their heads. They all began circulating the spiritual energy within their bodies. Mu Chen also started to circulate his spiritual energy. However, his gaze suddenly turned serious, and he gripped the mountain cliff tightly. He discovered that the heat was become more and more intense. It did not seem that it was caused by the battle. Mu Chen's eyes flashed. He hurriedly squatted down and swept his sleeves. The snow spread out and quickly melted away. These rocks were actually somewhat hot. What is it? Chu Qi and the others noticed Mu Chen's strange action and was stunned. Mu Chen frowned and felt something was wrong. It seemed that a powerful surge of heat was rapidly approaching this location from underground. Something's wrong. Let's not make any moves right now, Mu Chen said in a deep voice. Ye Qingling and the others exchanged gazes. It was evident that they had some doubts. However, they nodded immediately once they noticed Mu Chen's serious expression. Mu Chen touched the hot rocks and stared into the snowy white landscape. Shortly after, his eyes narrowed. This is because that area had suddenly turned completely red. Boom! The earth suddenly shook as if an earthquake has occurred, and it suddenly cracked open. Then, numerous lava pillars erupted out into the sky. Bellow! A deep cry rang out, accompanied with the erupting lava pillars. It resounded through the entire sky, and a spiritual energy pressure that was in no way inferior to the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon was emitted out. Mu Chen's expression instantly turned solemn. A hint of shock flashed through his eyes. Underneath this earth, there had actually been another heaven-ranked spiritual beast. That wraps up the content for today's episode. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel to get notifications for the next episode. For now, goodbye, and see you next time.